Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another Karlov stream. Excited to play another draft today, and hopefully some folks will join us in a moment here. I'll give everybody a few moments to come on in. And today's the day Fallout comes out. Haven't picked up any of those decks yet myself. I did play with the Doctor Who decks, though, actually. I never watched Doctor Who, so maybe it's a flavor fail for me when I don't really know what's going on in any of the cards, but I did have fun with the deck. I played with the Masters of Evil deck. It was actually pretty fun. So, artifacts, tokens, it was pretty, it was actually pretty smooth deck out of the box, and games played fast. I had a good time with it. So, anyway, I think people might enjoy Fallout a little more than they enjoyed Clue. Welcome everybody coming in. I see there's a few people starting to trickle in. Yeah, Clue, it was weird doing the video on, what day was that, Wednesday? Their top 10 cold cards, they were all from Clue. Now, part of that is just because the product's getting out there, and there were some high pre-release prices. Once the cards actually circulated, the prices went down. That's a big part of it. But it was an awkward, I think, product. I do think... Hey, Jesse, how you doing? That's cool. Hey, thanks for stopping by and saying hi. If nothing else, I do appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you. And I hope you have a good day at work, too, today. But, yeah, I think people expected something more akin to Magic Night or Magic Game Night, where I think you go to the store, right? Maybe you have some casual friends, they haven't played Magic in a long time, you pick up this product, and you can go home and play, right? Like, the end. And then you get all the cards, and if you want to make commander decks with them later or something, or put them in commander decks, wonderful. But what we got instead was more of a jumpstart randomized product, and the correlation, the collation of the packs was just kind of sad, because you might get a few of the same pack, and then you don't get the others, and the cards you want might not be in there. And yeah, the Clue cards you got in every bundle. And and I think actually probably that's the best part. The commanders, the legendary creatures, are probably the best part of that product. But they're also single color commanders, which, that does box you in when it comes to deck building, right? So I have seen people building around them a little bit. I have seen more people putting some of them, at least the better ones, in decks, though. So, I don't know. I mean, I think another thing with the flavor is, I don't know how many people out there have a connection to Clue, the board game, right? Yeah, I played it, but... yeah, Rabbit Kittens, definitely in this example, I think they missed the boat. I don't know, from a Universe Beyond sort of thing, who cares about the Clue board game? Now, what's kind of funny is I related to the product more, and I don't know how many people actually caught the jokes and references I put in my video on Wednesday, but a couple people did in the comments. But for me, Clue is the movie Clue. When I was a kid, I used to like that movie because it's just silly, campy nonsense. Correct, Jesse. They did need to get a Clue. No doubt. Yeah, the movie is just silly, campy nonsense, and it's fun to watch, especially when you're a kid. I love that movie. But what's kind of funny about that movie is, it's too bad, and I don't know licensing and rights, how that all works, who actually owns the movie and the likenesses of the performers and stuff. But if they could have made the characters look like the characters from the movie, I think that would have been kind of cool. But I don't know how big of a audience that is either, right? That's just fools like me, I guess, who have fond memories of that movie. I don't know. Probably most people haven't even seen it. And funny story about that movie, when I was a kid, I liked it, right? And I used to watch it whenever it was on. I think I taped it off, one of the Showtime or something, or HBO or something. And I had a tape of it. I'd watch it and stuff. When I met my wife, one of our first dates, we went to the video store, and we're trying to figure out what movie to pick out, what movies to pick out, and she, we didn't know each other very well, right? So we're walking through, and I see the movie Clue. I'm like, oh, the movie Clue, and I kind of I used to watch that, and she's like, I love the movie Clue, so I had to marry her, obviously, because no one else would have got me. I'm kind of a weird sense of humor. I guess the movie Clue, it let me know she was my soulmate. So, but yeah. So to me, maybe I'm an audience of one. Like, would I have bought that product if it had like the likenesses of, a Madeline Kahn and who else was in that movie? Martin Mull and in the performers. I probably would have. Now, granted, I don't think that would have helped that product because they would have got one sale, I guess. But like I said, I don't know how many people are familiar with that movie, but but if you never watched it and you're in a mood for just something stupid and silly, like, check it out. It's a good watch. You'll laugh at something in there, I'm sure. And at least you'll get some of my jokes in last Wednesday's video. So, because I was making that video and I really knew, I'm like, no one's going to get this. No one's going to get these references. But I was like, you know what? I'm making a top 10 cold cards on Clue right now, and I need to entertain myself to get through it. So that's basically what that was. I was just entertaining myself. And it was funny that a couple people caught it and figured it out. But yeah, so there you go. So there's a few folks here. We might as well get started on the draft. But yeah, I mean, I'd be curious whether you talk about it in the chat here, or maybe leave me a comment on this video or the video from Wednesday. I'd be curious on your thoughts on the product, especially if anyone's actually played it, played with any of the cards. I haven't. I'd just be curious to see like what people's feelings were, because I think overall the price point too high. The the cards probably needed to be a set where you got everything, so you felt like you were getting your money's worth. You weren't going to miss something good if you bought it and just happened to not get that pack. And that goes back to, I think, their problem with Jumpstart in general. When Jumpstart's done right and the expectations are set up for what it is, it's a very cool product. Like, remember the original Jumpstart and even Jumpstart 2022? But then when they started using Jumpstart as almost like a brand for like beginner products, that totally confused everybody. Because sure, Jumpstart was a beginner product, but it was a beginner product that experienced people had fun with too. And there were some really good cards in there for Commander, especially, that you might want. And I felt like that was the first Jumpstart was awesome. And then when they came out with the, hey, here's the Jumpstart side set for the standard set, and it was really a replacement for starter decks or Planeswalker decks, that was bad, because you still put the Jumpstart name on it, and then experienced people were expecting what they got before, and they got nothing like that, right? So this feels like kind of a similar miss. Like, they didn't call this Jumpstart, but they made it like Jumpstart, and they probably shouldn't have. I think that was the problem. Yeah, Rabbit Kittens. Yeah, it's nice that you supported the LGS. I mean, that's pretty cool. And you have the Commanders. That way, someday you might, who knows, you might be like, yeah, let me throw this at something. Like, I would like to have them for that reason. But at the same time, like, there's nothing that's making me, like, actually stop what I'm doing and go out and, like, buy it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no card in there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of too bad, because I feel like it could have been more. It could have been cool, actually. And, and I'm into board games that they, Hasbro owns the rights to, Monopoly or Clue or whatever. Like, they could have this could have been one thing. They could have done other things in the future that could have been cool if they did it right, but I don't know. Again, where's the audience, I guess? Like I know things like Doctor Who is popular. Marvel, when they get to that, is going to be huge, I'm sure. Lord of the Rings was huge. Clue, I don't know. I don't think it has that audience, but yeah, no, who knows? But if the cards were good and the product was affordable, and Magic players wouldn't care, right? Like, they'd buy it, right? If there were good cards in there. But oh well, whatever. That's my feeling on that. And that is that. Okay, let's get to murders at Karlov Manor. All right. Let's see what's going on. Pack 1. I haven't played this since last Friday when I did my stream, so I might be a little rusty here. I like to play maybe like once during the week. I did that the previous week, just to kind of stay in practice, still get better at recognizing the cards and stuff. But I did not do that this week, so hopefully. I do want to shout. I have to remember I was going to shout out one of my patrons too. I'll do that after the draft though, since the draft is starting. All right. What do we got here for our rare? Disguise. Turn face up, exile another target non-land permanent. If you controlled it, return it to the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, its controller creates a 2/2 white blue detective token. Okay. Hey, that's okay. And the rares aren't like anything to write home about. There's a Croson Tusker. 6/5 cycling. I do like Goblin Maskmaker, but I mean, if I take that, I guess it's really going to send a signal because there's no other red in here. This is not a great pack though. Someone will probably take this because it's unique. I don't know if that will get them in green or not. I feel like I'm always playing red, white, or red, green. Murder is good, but I just don't think it's as good in this set, quite honestly. I like Tunnel Tipster. There's another breakout. I don't know. This is okay. I like Fanatical Strength too. But I feel like our deck only needs like one of those. We'll probably be able to get another one. This is good too. Projector, Inspector. Tunnel Tipster. Yeah. Probably. I like the ramp. I like that it can also get larger. It become kind of formidable. There's another one. Glint Weaver can be good. Like that's decent. Crowd Control Warden's good. This can be good. I've had some success with it, but sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's a dead card. Kind of depends on your situation. More good removal in the world of black, of course. I just don't think black and blue are the best colors. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate that. Have a great day. Have a good day at work. And thanks for stopping by again. I think we're going to just go with Glint Weaver here. Knife. That's not bad. Not really the direction we started going in, though. White looks sort of open. Sort of, kind of. I mean, these aren't great white cards. I know, Case of an Eaten Feast is actually not bad. I suppose we're not married to any color yet. I could just grab this and just see what happens. See if white truly is open. There's another Glint Weaver. I don't feel like I need two of those. Coerce to Kill is probably the best card here. Seasoned Consultant can be good in the right deck. I might go with this and kind of stick instead of pulling black into this as well. I mean, maybe we're Boros. That could be. I do like Rift Burst Hellions. Garbane Orangutan's good. Gearbane Orangutan's good too. That's not bad either. I mean, that flyer's okay. Probably just grab one of these. The real trick to drafting this set is making sure you have some low curve stuff going on. So we do want to be cognizant of that. Make sure you have a good, healthy amount of 2-drops. It's easy to over. Let's see what this pack has. Yikes. Okay. Well, nothing great for us. I can take this in case we end up going a little deeper in colors, which we might. We'll see. What was I saying? I feel like removal is a little bit of a trap in this draft because there's so much good removal. And if you start gravitating too much to the removal, especially early, you sometimes you end up with not enough good low curve stuff. I don't know. There's nothing great here. I might just take this. You choose on tap. Yeah, this is this one. Cease and desist. We'll take this. I don't know if I play it or not. Due diligence, not great. A ley line. I don't know if I use it, but maybe. Maybe. Of course, it's blue-black. It's kind of not where we're going, at least for that part of the spell. Let's put it in the sideboard for right now. Here's another one of these. Or this is maybe the one that wields. Target creature. Did I get that? I don't know what I got there. Okay. Alright. Whenever a creature controls attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. Discard your hand, sacrifice connecting the dots, put all the cards exiled this way. That's interesting. There's also Lightning Helix, which would be good for where we seem to be going. Red Herring is always great, and those don't usually stick around in a draft. I might take the Red Herring here, actually. It's just good. Orangutan's good, too. Tunnel Tipster's good. So something could wheel here for us. Someone will take the Lightning Helix, I have no doubt, but I feel like we have time to get a little more removal. I do like Mask Maker. We already have one. This is a real good card, but now it's double black. I feel like it might be a little too late for that. That's pretty good. It's a 4-drop, though. We don't have any 4-drops yet. We don't have any 3-drops either, technically, but we have Disguise. I think we'll just take this. I like Crowd Control Warden. There's Suspicious Detonation. That never really seems to be as good as you think it's going to be. Kind of like Murder in this set. Creatures dealt damage. Just control my exile that many cards to the library. And you play those cards until end of turn. That's interesting. There's another one of those. I don't know. Not a lot here. There's Public Thoroughfare. Because right now, if we were to just dump the green, what would we have? I think that's okay. Another one of these. We're definitely in green or red, so like we can always play it for the disguise cost, so it's gonna be fine. So let's just take another one of those. I think now we gotta start figuring out what colors we are in. Because right now, if I were to cut red, that's all we're losing. So maybe we're Selesnya. Blue's open. Blue, I think, is the weakest color here, though. I mean, maybe we're not out of red yet. I mean, there's no other picks here for us. Let's just take that. Orangutan. It's a late orangutan. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're Boros. Yeah, we might be Boros. Because now we ain't getting any white. like that. So you can get this removal late. I don't know if I play that or not, but maybe. Actually, maybe in Boros. Okay. What is this? Oh, I remember this card. Can't really count on there being artifacts around, though, unlimited. There's another red herring, which actually be quite good. There's a bite down if we thought we'd still be green. There's another one of these, which might wheel, maybe. Or we might see another one at least. I might take this red herring, actually. So, let's take the green out. See where that puts us. What are we missing here? I mean, removal would be good. Probably maybe another 2-drop. Some more disguise would help. Okay. Decent green. Attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. If you do, draw a card. I do like this. We can take another one of these. Just be very aggressive, I guess. That's not bad. Make your move is not too bad. Although, let's stick with this all-in-out attacking theme. Oh, man, we got a late makeshift binding. Like, a lot of good cards here for us, but I think we want the makeshift binding. That gives us 2 really solid pieces of removal. Yeah, I like where this is going. The flyer. Return target creature card of mana 3 or less from graveyard to battlefield. Put a flying counter on it. That's not bad. But I do think we need a few more disguise creatures for the 3 spot, so I'm just going to take that. Here's another one of these. There's also, do we want another one of these? Or do we want one of these? I feel like we might, for this deck, want this. We'll take this flyer. Yeah, I like where this goes, and I feel like we're gonna like get one more decent card back for our deck. I'm surprised white was as open as it was. Like here, this constitutes. This also would work. We can play it for the disguise cost here of 2 white, and kind of go with a small creature attack theme. Nothing really here for us. Yep. Okay. So I think we got a deck here. I don't think this is that bad, actually. I don't think it's bad at all. And we do have a few things in our sideboard still that we can mess around with. So let's see what we actually have here. Like, as it stands, we'd have to cut 2 cards. Let's fix this land mess first. Okay. So, we have... Yeah, this will be good. That's actually quite good for our deck. Mass Makers, they're good. And we have enough disguised creatures where I think it's going to be helpful. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 2 even have disguise. Yeah, we're golden. That's got disguise. Okay. How many creatures do we have? Real quick, let's check that stat out. 20. I mean, if we need to cut a creature or two, we're probably still fine, but this deck probably does not want to do that too much. I do want to keep this. I want to keep those. Maybe that could be possibly something we cut. Oh, I got 2 of these. I don't know if I need 2. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's different. Which one's this one? Oh, this is the detective one. When a detective enters battlefield. How are we actually on detectives? I don't know if I... No, those are detectives. Those might be it, though. Well, that's a detective. I don't know if that's enough. Like, I think this deck rather just play the 2 drops and fight. Like, I'm fine with that, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough. All of those I'm all in on. I like it. Great removal. Good card. Good for what we're doing. Yup. 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 I mean, I guess this card does play well with the detectives as 2, but, you know, again, it's a little conditional. I don't love this because it has that, it's not aggressive, it's more defensive, but at the same time, it still can be a 2/2 for 3 with the ward. And if someone is going to blow you out with removal, like, this can stop it, perhaps. Decent removal spell. Another flyer. I mean, this flyer is not super exciting to me. A 4/3 that is probably going to cost 5. But I think it's okay. Okay, so if we have to cut one more card, they are pretty low curve. I mean, you could argue that maybe we don't need to cut a card. We could cut a land. Because, I mean, these you can play for 3. This you can play for 3. Ultimately, we'll have to turn. I mean, turning that for 6 is probably the most expensive thing we do, right? And the only thing that's a little awkward about this, I mean, there's an X spell, kind of. Well, no, it's not an X spell. The only thing that's kind of awkward here is, I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where you can't play 2 creatures quickly. You want to get to that point in this set, in this environment. So I'm a little leery to go down a land. We have a lot of 2-drops, though. Fair amount of 4-drops. You really don't want to miss your land drop, though. You just really don't want to. So I think the question is, if we were to get rid of something, for me, usually there's something sitting here that you're kind of like, we probably don't need that in our deck. For me, we don't have a lot of big creatures, and I do like the disguise, so I don't want to, like, but maybe one of these 2 is jumping out at me as something I might cut. I also have this. If I cut this, let's say we cut that. We have, I mean, this is going to gain us life. That's great removal. This is good removal. Is that enough? Like, I like to have 3 things. Like, I like to have, you know, even if it's like 2 pieces of removal and a combat trick. Hey, bowl of sauce. Essence of Antiquity. I was thinking that, too. That was the other one that I was thinking. I mean, like I said, it's protection against removal, but maybe in this deck it doesn't matter that much, because what are they going to remove, right? Like, we don't have anything that's, like, huge. We have our 6/7s, and we have our 4/4s, but, like, a lot of our damage is going to come off the 2/2s, and the 2/1 flyer, and the 3/2, you know? So, that might be a good point. And what that would let us do then is to run maybe another combat trick, kind of in lieu of a third piece of removal. Yeah, that's true, bowl of sauce. With the fish, it kind of it does kind of lull people into making mistakes. True. There's this card. I don't know. This feels so situational. Like you really... I mean, it's an enchantment, but once it's on the board, now my opponent decides how important it is to damage the creatures. And I have to have mana to play it. These aren't free spells. I don't know. I feel like my opponent has too much control over that situation. There's this, but it's not really a combat trick though. It's an enchantment aura, and I played with this. It never impressed me. I guess it's this. I mean, that can help us kind of maybe turn that into a removal spell. I don't think it's worth splashing green for, say, Bite Down or something like that, especially with this deck. Like, we have a lot of small creatures. Alright, so let's see if our mana's right. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 versus 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think that's good. Considering if we pull, we want to be able to get the red herrings out just as much as we want to get these out. I think the land distribution's good. Okay, well, let's play. I like this deck. I like Boros. At least it's different from what we played the last couple weeks, because I think we played Gruul both last 2 weeks. I mean, the decks were a little different, but there were some similar cards. We did go 7-1 2 weeks ago. Went 6-3 last week. So, let's see. What do we get? A lot of land. This is a deck that doesn't want a ton of land, so it's a little awkward. But we do have plays. We can flip this maybe relatively quickly, so I will keep it. We are going first too, which is what we want to do. So, let's see what happens. Okay, that makes me feel a little better about this keep. It'd be nice to get another cheap creature, though, quickly. Like, maybe like a red herring or something. Oh, that works. That counts. So this will get interesting quick. Assuming they don't have a removal spell. We could attack in with 2/2/3s and this, which will make a cheaper disguise. Tireless Tracker, really? Okay, that hurts. However, we attack with all three. They're not going to want to lose their tracker, and hopefully they think there's a combat trick up so that they don't kill our 1/2. Nah, they don't. They take some damage. Okay. I mean, right now, Tireless Tracker isn't the end of the world. Because, I mean, they have to pay 2 to crack the clue, but once this game gets going, that will kill us. Like, kill us. Yeah, Ball. Yeah, definitely a good curve on this game so far. I mean, we can kind of do everything we want to do here. They're not going to want to lose their tireless tracker. Okay. I assume they attack with it, though. I don't think they can resist doing 5. Sure. Crashing footballs? That's not cool. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that they are so powerful. Like, some of them, anyway. Well. Let's do this. Keep the damage coming. Again, because I think we gotta win this fast. Tireless Tracker will be a beating if this game goes too long. Okay. This thing can do 5 damage. Well, there's our answer to Tireless Tracker. We can use that next turn and kind of surprise them. So they only have 5 mana to work with. If they play land, they have 6. They gotta play a blocker. But even so, it might not be enough. Because this in the air kills them. Even without anything else happening. And we still have this in our pocket. They don't have murder mana up anymore. Slam against humanity. Okay. They're tapped out. So. Alright. Game 1. But the deck did what we wanted to do. I wanted it to do big damage quickly in the early game. And then we're able to just kind of put it away. So, that's what it should do. Let's hope it can keep doing it. Crashing footballs. I can't get over that. I don't know. The special guest cards are kind of crazy. Like, the list cards, for the most part, like, okay, whatever. But the special guest cards, yeah. Tireless Tracker. Our opponent was all in on the Tireless Tracker, too. Which, again, I mean, I don't know what their hand was like. It's a good card, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the best thing if they couldn't play some support along with it. But this is a keep. We got some good creatures early, and we'll just build to this. I mean, we can disguise those. Yeah. Opponent took a mulligan. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, right. Herring is quite impressive. That 7 in 1 week, I had what, 3 herrings in the deck, I think. Oh, look at this. Yup. Want to trade? If they do block, do we sack? I say no, because we have plays here. Like, I'd rather stay ahead of them as opposed to drawing a card and not playing anything. Interesting. I can attack with both. Turn this and still play that. Pretty good, pretty good. What's this thing do? Huh. Yep, they're out. Okay. We had another herring coming down. Like, they were kind of getting run over there. Alright, 2 games down. So far, so good. Yeah, I don't know what their deck looked like. You know, they had 3 different colors. I mean, we were just so efficient. They did take a mulligan, too. So, it is what it is sometimes. It is what it is sometimes. I'm liking this deck. I was never a big aggro fan for a long time. I used to love control. Never want to play aggro, but I don't know. More recent years, I've been into the aggro. I have a good curve here, so we'll keep. And we're going first. Exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. 1, 2, 3. Opponent mulligan. I think Boros probably is the best. I would say Gruul after that. The red is just very good here in this set. Blue to me seems the weakest color, probably followed by black. Black's got some really good removal, but removal's not all it feels like it should be in this set because of all these small creatures and all the racing that you do. You don't want to overvalue like a murder, for example. It's a great card generally, but like in this environment, it's a little weak. And a lot of times that's a card people will first pick because it's murder, right? Now, we're off to a good start. They're playing black and white, so they have a ton of awesome removal available to them. We're going to use this and kind of not use all our mana here because I think it's just a better play. But I've had a lot of success with red-green, red-white. It's to the point where I kind of just want to steer clear of blue and to some degree black. Two. Attack for 3. I get a cheaper thing, but I can't play 2 things, so... At some point, we just play the orangutan, even if there's no value there. But we don't have to do that yet. I'm just going to tag all 3. If they want to eat my 1-2, they can, but they're taking 5. They want that. You know what? I'll trade you. Yeah, I think sometimes you would pop the clue there. But I think in our case, let's just stay ahead, stay ahead, stay ahead. Kind of like last game. Another opponent with 3 colors. 2 white. I mean, I'm expecting to see some removal. Yeah, that's true. Like, especially as the format goes on, I do think you get to that point where people start to figure out, like, okay, that's a weaker color, and they leave it alone. And you can have, you're right, you can have success, like, sometimes big time success with those decks. I have seen good like is it decks, and I wouldn't think is that great, but I've been beaten by some good is it decks when you get all the right cards, right? Nothing, huh? You got nothing. They could have a board sweep. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn this face up. They might destroy it right now. But Assassin's Trophy, okay. Gets it out of their hand. Sure. Get a land card. It doesn't leave us with a ton here, theoretically, but if they play an artifact, they're in trouble. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that can make a spirit token, right?
Apparitions come in many shapes, but they all look like a payday to me.
Surveil 2. Spirit tokens. It's going to be spirit token, spirit token, spirit token. We can't really stop it. I guess the question is, how badly is that going to pile up on us? Like, do we want to start doing damage to that, not our opponent? Our hand's looking a little thin, too. I mean, they only have 3 cards, but they are going to get probably some kind of play and a token every time. And all I can really do at this point is keep that at 4. I think we got to keep attacking the opponent. Maybe they block one of these. Go down to 5. We play this. We have makeshift binding. So if they play, let's say they play some creature, and they make a token, we're going to be able to hit them next turn for Well, not lethal if they play a creature, but close. Now, if I didn't play around the board sweep and I played the orangutan a turn earlier, and just kept kind of the 2-2, I don't know. I don't know if we would have been in a better position or not, but I think the right play there was to not overcommit when they had 2 white, a black, and a green open, because that could have been a board sweep. Opponent's in the tank, and they got 4 cards. They should have something happening here. I mean, even a removal spell, if they get rid of one of our creatures. Either that or they're giving up and we're getting the salty rope. One of the two. The salty rope. I haven't gotten the salty rope in a long time. We're overdue. Okay. Seems like the salty rope. Now they have mana. I mean, I could play this, but I don't think that would be the smartest thing. Let's just attack them and see what happens. Again, we might just get salty roped here anyway. If that's the case, we can talk about some sort of exciting magic topic in the meantime while we're waiting for our opponent to run the clock out. I think we are getting the salty rope. Or they got disconnected, but I kind of don't think so. Things didn't seem like they were going too well for our opponent. They probably have like 3 murders in their hand. Oh boy. It's been a while. It has been a while since I saw the salty rope. Okay. Attack. You. Alright, oh, there we go. Alright, that's game. So that's 3, right? I believe. 3 in a row? Yeah, sure. Okay. Getting the opponents that are going deep in with colors this time around. A lot of 3-color decks, which I think in this format, you know, not to say they can't work, but you have to really be able to get your early drops down. You don't even splashes can mess you up a little bit here. I mean, I've experienced that. All right, we want to go first. Let's win that dice roll. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're going first, yay. I like it. I like the hand. I like the hand. Okay, yeah, keep. Similar to some of our other hands. There are some 1-drops. Opponent doesn't have one. They could have shock, though. They could shock our red herring. That could be a thing. Probably will happen. Probably gonna happen. Probably. No, I am surprised that did not happen. Okay. Didn't I take this out? Did I mess that up? I'm not crazy, right? I took that card out. Okay. Galvanize? Anybody? Anybody? Probably 41, I bet you. I bet it didn't go out when I clicked on it. I bet ya. That Phoenix is awkward, but at this point it's not a huge deal. And there we go. They have 3 mountains. I assume they have a second color. I'm just going to keep the pressure on. The next turn, if nothing else, we can play this, pop that. Okay, we did it. Let's go look at our deck and see what's going on. I mean, hey, I guess it was a creature that worked for us. $41 cards. Yep, that never came out. Okay. Now it did. We're pretty lucky, though. I should have kept it. Now we'll start losing. So that's for 4-0. Let's go again. Yeah, Sean, they were quick games. Efficient, good curve. We're going first, I think, on all of them. I don't remember the first one. Exactly, Bull. That's the trick. That's what everyone's missing. It's the 41 card deck. It's the 41 card deck. DL SMD. Okay. Like this hand. Only 2 land, but we can play our almost our whole hand right now. This one more mana disguise. Actually, we can play it because of the Mask Maker. And we go first. Yup, sign me up. Sign me up. Blue. Let's just do... I do Mask Maker into... probably that. Let's play this face down. I do want to draw land, though. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Okay. That could get awkward quick. I can play 2 creatures, though, this turn. I think I'm just going to play this. Keep the pressure on. Another one of these things, huh? Missed their land drop too, though. I can flip that for 2. I can still play this. What's the face-up cost for this? 5. Tad bit awkward, but I mean it costs 5 anyway, so that's fine. Little combat trick that could put him away with any luck. Yeah. You can draw a card, but you got 1 mana. Okay. Yeah. Quick. Quick. This is a good deck. I am very happy with it. What was that, 5? Phoenix Chick. Alright, 5 wins. Be fun to go flawless here, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need 2 more wins. But yeah, Boros, let me tell you, this is the deck. Now, if we were on the draw, I don't know. I mean, some of these might be a little more challenging. Maybe. I mean, we're really running over opponents today. But, you know what, this is how this format plays. It's race. Doesn't matter if you're in Boros or not, actually. Okay. Well, good mana. Yeah, sure. Not as explosive, and the opponent's going first, and this is not as explosive as our other hands, with the 1-drops and such, but, you know, it's a keep, definitely. Opponent's deciding what to do. We will keep. Swamp. 1-drop, okay. Another land. Let's just do this. Yep. Makeshift binding is good to have. They got their murder mana up, so they're good to go. Zav. For the graveyard, then investigate. Whenever you sack a clue token, you may have Zav become a copy of the card. Lazav, we probably have to deal with now, unfortunately. I'd rather keep the pressure on, but right now our opponent's not doing much anyway. Yeah, very true. Ball. Yeah, that's a very good card. Gorehound. I haven't played with it much because I haven't played black all that much, but I'll tell you, like, I've been beat down by some of those for sure. Yeah, I guess they probably should have done that before they attacked. They must have misclicked. Okay, well, we have a lot of options here. play this and hope we draw into a herring. I think that's the plan. If we draw into a herring, we can do a big attack next turn. Well, maybe not so big of an attack. But I'm okay with that, actually. Okay. So now, I can play one thing face down. Question is, what do we want to play face down? I mean, we can flip this, so... I hear you. I like Dimir too, actually. Maybe not so much in the limited format here, but I do like Dimir. I mean, this is a cheap turn. Probably do this. Let's put this one out. Actually, let me attack first. Not that it matters too much when you think about it. Okay. Because that, at least, getting that on the battlefield is going to open it up. So next turn, if we don't have something better to do, we can play a face-down creature and turn that. Oh, another one. Well, they're digging for spells. Little mana heavy. That kind of changes things. Now I don't want to turn that. I can still play two face-down creatures, though, which is pretty good. Create a 2/2 detective creature. Creature died this turn. You gain 2 life survival 2. Okay. So that's what they're trying to do. Trying to find their spells. And trying to protect themselves as well. Can flip that next turn. They're digging. They're digging. I mean, they should be starting to find some heat now, right? Like... Take it. Let's put us down to 8, and we have to be careful. They got an aggressive Dimir deck. They are very much ahead of us, too. And those hounds are doing their job. I mean, the surveil alone is, if we lose this game, that's why. Interesting. So we trade there. Takes that off the board. Or we flip. Five to flip. We can still play this as a blocker, but we are going to take, we're going to take some damage. But I do think it's the right thing to do. Even if they kill our goblin, if they don't have any other combat tricks or anything, they can't kill us here. They had 2 cards in hand. They still don't have double blue. We have a removal spell, so if they do get crazy, attack with everything, play a creature, we remove it, we're golden. Assuming the creature doesn't have more than 4 toughness, I guess. So it's a close game. And they're going to hold back some blockers. There's a creature. Okay, so here's our question. They block, they block. 2, 3, 4. Can't play both the cards in our hand. If we flip the fairy, we're going to gain 2 life. But then we can't use a removal spell. But I could play the herring after the fact as a blocker. Feels like that might be the thing to do. Oh, something else gets lifelink. I forgot that. How about that? If that's got lifelink. We're going to gain 7 life here. I say we do it. Maybe this is overcommitting. But they gotta block something. Puts them at 1, us at 12. $11 after that. We can sack the red herring if like something crazy happens here, but I think we got this. I mean, they're gonna have to deal with what we got on the board, including the flyer. And we still have the suspicious detonation. It's a good game, though. If you see Dimir, you don't necessarily think it's going to be such an aggressive situation. Okay, they're getting rid of the flyer. I guess the idea is they play one creature. And they got the block. But they only have one card in hand and 3 mana, so they're doing this. One black. Do they have another Gorehound? Yeah, I like their start. They had a good start bowl, but yeah, they kind of, I don't know, they kind of ran out of gas. They needed more investigate to kind of go along with what they're doing. They're in the tank. I mean, they only have 1 black mana. Maybe they have the lifelink card, but they're still going to then have to attack. Okay. Guess they don't have the lifelink. Okay. GG's though. It was a good game. Probably the most competitive game we played today, actually. One of the more fun ones. But yeah, that was what, win 6? Am I crazy? We're 6-0. Yeah, win 6. All right, can we go 7-0? Can we go 7-0 today? That'd be pretty awesome. Let's just try. Let's do it. That's worst case scenario. We got 3 games left. Thanks, Sean. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. We didn't totally just like roll over our opponent that time. We had to think a little. But deck's solid. I'll give it that. Deck is solid. Now, a couple weeks ago, we did go 7-1. We dropped the first game and then won 7 in a row. It'd be kind of nice to go 7-0, though. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a keep. We got 2 early plays here. We just need 1 more land. Opponent is going first, so again, we're kind of dealing with what we dealt with last time around. They got red. Oh, we got a 1-drop action, which will open up our disguise earlier, too, if need be. I like it. Interesting. Okay. Attack. Let's throw that down. If we draw a land, we can play 2 creatures next turn. 3 colors again, huh? We did not draw a land. Gets a little awkward. What does this do? Death Touch. Solid. What can we do here? I mean, it's a little awkward because, like, clearly we want to deal with this. We don't want to necessarily keep running creatures into it, because that's not how we're going to win this game. That one it's 17 to 20. One way to go is we play this, and then eventually that's on the table for us. Or we get the flyer going eventually. I mean, they're both five drop situations. Let's get this on the battlefield. This is probably going to be grindy. Yeah, we just can't run our creatures into this. We're just lose by attrition. Because really, they could block. If I attacked with those 3, block, we lose 2 creatures. They lose nothing. Take 3 damage. And it's aggressive. I mean, we could joint block and try to get rid of that. The problem being, if they have a combat trick, if they can give that thing first strike, well, I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing. A murder would throw off the math. 2, 3, 4, 5. If I blocked with everything, and they murdered this, well, they can't murder that because of ward. This is awkward. But if they just start attacking and cloaking, we're just going to fall behind and lose, I feel like. Okay, murder. We got the murder out of their hands. We lost 2 creatures, but we're still in a decent spot here. I say we just go with can't attack. They really gummed us up fast. I mean, it's quite impressive actually. Okay, now things will get a little crazy. What's the advantage of doing that? 2 and 2, probably worth it. Which one do we want? Well, actually, we get both, right? Yeah. That's why I attacked with that. Alright. Now the opponent has 4 cards in hand. So, you know. Something will get murdered, probably. But I mean, right now, they're kind of in an awkward spot. Because it's kind of like... What does that do? You saw those top X cards at their library face down. You may look at those cards as long as they remain exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spell them out. Okay. Well, let's attack. Flyer. Yep. We did it. 7-0. That's exciting. That's the first time I went 7-0. Like I said, a couple weeks ago we dropped the first game, then won 7 in a row. Pretty cool, but this is awesome. Great deck. Sad we can't play with it longer. That was pretty cool. Yeah, other than the second to last game where we did have a little bit of a competition, yeah, like we kind of rolled over everybody. Like, that's crazy. Thanks, Bull. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, that was awesome. That was really awesome. So, I definitely feel like I know this format really well now. Like, if you, it's funny because, like, when was the first week we played? It was like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago now. I think this is our like fourth week. I think. Like, in the beginning, you don't know the format. You're trying to figure it out. By like the second, third week, I started feeling like, you know what? I think I see what's going on here, and we got it. And you know, it feels good to know I can still play Magic. I feel like I went so long without playing the game. That it was awkward to like get back into it. Like that first week when I did that cube draft, and I like couldn't even remember how to like use Arena. It was quite comical, but yeah, you know, I feel like after taking a few months off from making videos, and then prior to that not really playing, like for probably a couple of years really, other than just real casual Commander, you know, maybe a friendly sealed deck game here or there. I just haven't really played. I didn't keep up with the new cards or anything when I wasn't making videos for a few months. And hey, I apparently still remember how to play some Magic, so that feels good in the end. So that was awesome. Really awesome. Let's say I don't have time to do another game, unfortunately. That felt like it was sort of quick, but maybe what we'll do is let's open some packs. I have a ton of packs sitting around. I have a bunch of these now. What was we also got, I don't know, do we want to open the new alchemy, or we can open old stuff? I got old stuff. What if we opened, I think this is Brothers War Alchemy. I got like 6 of those for some reason. Let's open like a few of these, and then maybe some of the Karlov, since I got like 20 something packs. Yeah, let's just see what we get now. Brothers War. This is going back. Soul Guide Lantern. This is kind of fun. Let's see what we got here. Rusco Clockmaker. That is an alchemy card. Oh, I think I remember the regular version of this. I don't know what exactly changed, but... Alright, let's open another one. Gellum Tome. Yup. Kayla's Kindling. Oh wait, see, it's what does this do? When this enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. At the beginning of your upkeep, draft a card from Kayla's Kindling spellbook and exile it. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. So, I guess maybe one of those cards could be Seasoned Pyromancer, or is it only Seasoned Pyromancer? I've never played Alchemy, so like this stuff is like, what? It's a little over my head right now. Seems like an interesting format. Something you can't really do in paper, you know. So, or at least some of the things. Put a graveyard from her hands. Ashnod's Altar. That's kind of cool. Great combo enabler card. You see that, of course, all the time in Commander. That's actually pretty awesome. That was a bonus sheet card. Alright, well, we opened 3 of those. Should we open something different? I also have... We can get all these down to 3. Let's open 3 March of the Machines. March of the Machine. Dusk Legion Duelist. Okay. Can't remember what the hits are in this set. Oh, my favorite card to pronounce when I was making videos back when this set was hot. Let's see if I can do it. Borborgamos and Fibblethip. Look at that. That was the first take. That was awesome. Whenever I just say that card before, I would like, of course I edited it in the video, but it would take me like 5 tries. I did pretty good there though. Alright. Yarok the Desecrated. Okay. This is a specialty version of the card, I guess. Specialty card. Thanks, Sean. I would say it again, but I know I'll mess it up if I try a second time. And I know they totally put those two characters together in the card because they had the hardest names to pronounce. I'm sure it was totally an inside joke. And I was like, very funny, Wizards. Very funny. Renata called to the hunt. Remember, for those of you who watched the Market Watch, back maybe, a year ago or so? Maybe a little more than a year ago? Remember when Renata called to the hunt, the list copy would keep, just going up and down, crazy amounts of money every week? And, 1 week would be up, $30. Next week was down $30. Good times. Good times. Oh, okay. I'll take that. That's good. At some point I want to play Standard, so I'll need that stuff. Okay, let's open some Karlov, because I have a ton of these. This is the set I probably opened the most, at least in recent history. So these cards I'm going to mostly have, but still a couple firsts here. So there you go. Outrageous Robbery. Case of the Ransacked Lab. Good draft pack here. Couple of my favorite draft cards. Red Herring, Person of Interest. This wasn't bad for us today either. That Lead Pipe did a little work for our opponent. Undercity Sewers. Good. I'll take that. I might, Sean. I kind of want to. I played with the Fallout, the video game. I played Fallout 3, I think, years ago. But I never really got super far into it. But I like the game. I just didn't have time to play. So I'm pretty familiar with, not all the lore necessarily, but at least the environment and some of the characters and stuff. So I think it looks cool. So I probably will at some point grab at least the decks maybe. Because like I said, I never watched Doctor Who. I don't know anything about it, but I did get the Doctor Who decks. My wife watches Doctor Who. She really wanted them. So I was like, yeah, look at the Doctor Who decks. But they were pretty fun to play. I've had a good time with them. So, I'll probably pick up the Fallout ones too. I mean, I know the whatchamacallit, the collector boosters are super hard to find and prices are real high right now because they're hard to get. I mean, I don't feel like I need to crack those, but I'd probably get the decks. I was never kind of I like the idea of collector boosters and I like the idea of secret layers, but I just feel like me personally, as a Magic player, I never really cared what was on the card or what the card looked like. I just needed the cards that I wanted to play with. You know what I mean? So it was kind of and even, I know this is silly because I do the finance videos, I never bought cards because I thought they're going to be worth money, or I never tried to flip cards or anything like that. I was interested in card prices. I thought that was cool. A cool element to the collecting and to the game that wow, look, this card went up because it was in this deck in the Pro Tour or whatever. I thought that was interesting, but I never really bought cards for investment or anything like that. I just thought it was fun. So that's why I started doing, the finance videos, and they were popular. And especially during the pandemic when people weren't really playing the game, they were just kind of buying the cards for value. At least a lot of people. A lot of our content became almost solely that, because that was what people wanted to see then. Now it's a little different. I think people want to see gameplay again to some degree. And talk about tournaments and stuff like that again. But yeah, I never really got into that. I just was okay, if I want to build X deck, I need these cards, so let me get them, and I'll buy the cheapest version of the card I can find. Just to play with, right? I see secret layers and I see some of these cards. I'm like, wow, they do look cool, but I don't feel like I need to own that. They look cool. Yeah, that's kind of that for me. But I know other people kind of love the aesthetics and the art of it, and I think that's just another way to collect. I think that's awesome too, right? I know in the comic book industry, I'd like to read comic books too, and I'm kind of the same way with my comics. they come out with like all these crazy variant covers, and some of them are beautiful. Like there's some artists that just do amazing cover work, and sometimes you have to pay more for those covers. But I just want to read the book, you know. So I'm kind of like, well, what's the cheap regular cover here? If all things being equal, if like they're all the same price, then I might be like, okay, I'll buy. I like this cover better than this cover, or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to spend more for a cover, even if it does look cool, because ultimately I just want to read the comic book. Like, like again, even with my comics, I'm not like, oh, I want to collect the ones that are going to go up in value the most or something. I collect the writers I like. It's not even characters for me, you know, because there's a lot of characters I like that I don't even read right now because I don't like the writer on them. But I just buy writers. So I'll buy a character that I'm not really the biggest fan of if I think the writing's going to be good and the story's going to be good. So yeah, I guess I'm like that with my Magic as well. You know, long story short, too late. That's a Clue joke for those of you who never saw the movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, and I said this at the beginning of the video, do yourself a favor and check out the movie. It's silly, it's stupid, it's campy, but the movie Clue, you'll probably enjoy it more than the Magic product Clue. I'll say that much about it. Krenko Baron of Tinstreet. Okay, yep. I'll open a few more of these before we go today. Let's see, we got Vicious Interrogation. It's a Galvanized, Suspicious Detonation. I see these cards and like the good draft cards just jump out at me. Seasoned Consultants I like a lot too. It seems like as long as nobody else is in that super aggro Boros build, you can get those Seasoned Consultants like we did today in draft. But if someone else is in that, you're fighting for those things too. Where I feel like Red Herrings, if you're in that deck, you clearly want them, but if you're not in that deck, you probably still want them. Like I wanted them in my Gruul deck, you know. So those are really, really hard to get. That's why I did first pick, I think. Did I first pick one of them, or did I early picked one of them? And 2-drops are just so important. What mode? 2-drops are just so important in that environment. It's crazy. I mean, they're always important in drafts and sealed, but in this environment especially, you can't miss. You need to be putting stuff on the board. Turn 1 if you can, but definitely turn 2, turn 3. You need to keep building your board, or you're gonna fall behind. Or Leader's Call. That card can be a beating in draft, that's for sure. That's one of the few cards that I would say it's okay to take a turn off to play that and not develop your board, and you'll probably still be okay. Especially if that was in our deck today, that would have been interesting. Because, you know, we would have had to do some calculus as to when to play it, like when to develop your board and keep the pressure on, and when to play that for like the mid game. But once you got that out, it can be beating, that's for sure. All right, well, I got 3 of all those packs and 15 of that. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap things up because I do have to get going. But hey, thanks for joining me today. Went 7-0. I'm excited about that. Thank y'all for the support. Sean, right? Like I watched the movie when I was a kid too. Like, and I think it was on either Showtime or HBO or something. I taped it off there, and it's a fun movie. And like as a kid, like, you know, it's especially like I don't know, like funny, but like even to this day I watch it. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I still laugh at it. Like it's so campy, but it's like, I don't know, there's something about that movie, and there's, you know, real good comedians in it. Like there's great people in it, so it still works for me. But I don't know, I did on my Wednesday video, I tossed in a bunch of lines from the movie. A couple people got it and said something in the comments. I mean, everyone else must have been like, this guy's crazy, but I was like, like I said at the top of the show, I was like, you know, I'm making a top 10 list. All of these cards happen to be Clue cards. I need to do something to entertain myself to get through this. So that's what I did. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I like it. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I may have to watch it again since we've been talking about Clues so much recently. But anyway, thank you, Sean, for being here. Thank you, Bull. Thanks to everybody who joined us today. I appreciate the company as we play. I was excited to go 7-0. It's the first 7-0 I've done with the draft. My last 7-0 was the last set I drafted, which was Wilds of Eldraine. I didn't draft anything in between that. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about that. Felt good, and I appreciate y'all being here again. Had a great time, and this coming week, probably do the same type of schedule. Top 10 hot cards, most likely on Tuesday, cold cards on Wednesday. I am thinking about maybe mixing up the cold cards and doing something else. So let me know if you have any ideas, just because the cold cards seem to be less viewed. I mean, not horrible, but less viewed. Maybe they don't need to be every week. Maybe it's once every couple weeks or once a month or something if I have other topics to discuss. But you can let me know either in the comments or here or on the video, the other videos, or where have you. If you have any ideas. I know somebody said foils. Foils can be awkward sometimes, but because they tend to, at least certain foils that are hard to find, they tend to just jump up and down in price all the time. And especially if different ones come into the market with different grades and such. But there are certain foils that it makes sense to talk about. So maybe that's something we could do maybe once a month or something. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts on that. And thank you, Sean. Thanks. Glad you had a good time. And I'll just wrap things up until next time. Hey, thank y'all. Thanks for being here. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.